Staff Member Russell,
Here.
Board Member Six,
Here.
Board Member Anderson,
Here.
Board Member Black,
Here.
Board Member Noon,
Here.
Board Member Sovereign.
Here.
We have a quorum.
So, since we will be postponing the election of chair and vice chair to the next hearing, as we do not have all members present, I will be chairing the meeting. So we will just get started with general business. So the election of chair and vice chair will be postponed, item A. Moving on to item B, appointment of consent review representatives from subcommittees. I suggest we also might do that. But I would like to suggest, or at least maybe get the next consent meeting covered on the 22nd. So I kind of want to leave that to the board members. I can pull up the previous calendar year consent schedule for reference, but Board Member Six graciously filled in today, and I just would be looking for coverage. We have one item on the 22nd of January, and that's at least for now, that's my next one that needs coverage. So if we can maybe just get that covered until the next full board hearing, and then we can make a decision on the review schedule for the year.
You want one member or two members?
Preferably two, but one's fine.
Is there landscaping?
Yes, but it's a returning project, so it's kind of like it really shouldn't have changed
Yeah.
since the last time I was here.
Well, I'm happy to show up for that, just for the landscape alone, but
Okay.
if somebody else wants to attend as well, so, or I'll do the
I
whole
can
thing.
I can be there too.
Okay, the two of us then. Good.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we can close item B. Moving on to item C, public comment.
Thank you, Staff Member Russell. I'll start with in-person public comment. At this time, I have no slips, and I don't see anyone in the audience making a move to fill out a slip, so we will go on to virtual comment. I do not have any attendees for virtual comment who've raised their hand, and we did not receive any written correspondence for this particular item. So at that, I'll turn it back over to you, Staff Member Russell.
Thank you. So moving on to item D, we will be approving the minutes from October 30th, 27th, November 27th, and December 11th of the previous year. So up on the board, we have the October 30th minutes, full board review minutes. What the heck? We can scroll on through those. Do any board members have any changes that they would like to request?
No, I reviewed it, and I would make a motion for approval.
Second.
So we can take roll call on October 30th minutes.
Okay, thank you. I'll do roll call. Board Member Six,
Yes.
Board Member Anderson,
Yes.
Board Member Black.
Yes.
Board Member Noon,
Yes.
Board Member Sovereign.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to the November 27th, 2023 minutes, full board minutes. Those are up on the screen now.
I move we accept the minutes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes, roll calls. Board Member 6?
I recuse myself as I was absent.
Okay. Board Member Anderson?
Yes.
Board Member Black?
Yeah, I'll have to recuse. I was also absent.
Okay. Board Member Noon?
The same, I was absent.
Okay. Board Member Sovereign?
Yes.
How many did we have? Did we have a quorum? Let's see, we had,
Yeah, that's,
I think it's still, I mean, I think it works. We still have quorum, despite people having to recuse themselves.
okay. Motion passes. Sorry.
thank you. Moving on. December 11th, 2023 minutes. That was the only item.
I move we accept the minutes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Okay. Board Member 6?
Yes.
Board Member Anderson?
Yes.
Board Member Black?
Yes.
Board Member Noon?
Yes.
Board Member Sovereign?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on to item E of general business, this would be the approval of the consent calendar for the following dates. November 27th, we had item A, 401 West Los Olivos Street. This was continued indefinitely to the staff hearing officer with the comment that the project is aesthetically appropriate and compatible to the neighborhood. Item B, 502 Chiquita Road, received project design approval and final approval with the following project compatibility comments. And those were the only two items for November 27th.
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
And then may we have roll call, please?
Yes. Board Member 6?
Yes.
Board Member Anderson?
Yes.
Board Member Black?
Yes.
Board Member Noon?
Yes.
Board Member Sovereign?
Yes.
Motion passes.
The consent minutes for December 11th, 2023. Item A, 116 Santa Barbara Street, received an indefinite continuance to the staff hearing officer with the following comments. The architectural improvement changes to the building are acceptable, and if no changes to the exterior is anticipated in the future, it is acceptable as is for a dining plaza, given the healthy landscape and nice screen walls in front and the general look of the exterior. 2, the project generally meets the project compatibility guidelines. Item B, 800 Miramonte Drive, received project design approval and final approval as submitted with the following project compatibility comments. Item C, 917 East Yananali Street, received final approval with a comment that 6 to 8 inches should be taken out of the width of the faux shutters on the upper gable windows of both the south and north elevations. And lastly, item D, 1210 Carpinteria Street, received final approval with the following conditions. Condition 1, that the walkable hard space shall continue around the north elevation to the trash area. 2, condition that the proposed lights have frosted glass and downward directed. And condition 3, that staff verify the final exterior improvements to Unit A, match the preliminary design approval improvements. I might just make a request that we add in 2 match the preliminary design approval improvements.
Okay.
It was preliminary, I think, or, yeah, I think it's project design. Yeah, so, include the word to match and then change preliminary design approval to project design approval improvements.
Move we accept the minutes.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Board Member 6?
Yes.
Board Member Anderson?
Yes.
Board Member Black?
Yes.
Board Member Noon?
Yes.
Board Member Sovereign?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you for bearing with us. December 18th consent minutes. Item A, 3214 Calle Cedro, received project design approval and final approval with the comments. Board appreciates the applicant's ability to contain the new wireless systems within the profile of the existing architecture. The board agrees no wall cap is required. The new wall shall be screened by the same planting material as the adjacent existing hedge, with new 15-gallon plantings at 3 feet on center. The existing aloe shrubs are to remain and be protected and shown on the current plans, and then the project compatibility guiding analysis was made. Item B, 719 East Victoria Street, received project design approval and final approval with comments. The board requests that the applicant paint the entire exterior and new stucco with the dove wings or equal off-white color that matches the existing stucco, and the compatibility analysis criteria was generally met.
Move we accept the minutes.
Second.
Roll call. Board Member Six?
Yes.
Board Member Anderson?
Yes.
Board Member Black?
Yes.
Board Member Noon?
Yes.
Board Member Sovereign?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And last but not least, the January 8th consent minutes. We had one item today, 619 East Gutierrez Street, proposal for a parking lot, gate, and fence. This received project design approval and final approval as submitted. And that was the only item.
Move we accept the minutes.
Second.
Roll call. Board Member Six?
Yes.
Board Member Anderson?
Yes.
Board Member Black?
Yes.
Board Member Noon?
Yes.
Board Member Sovereign?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. So moving on to item F, announcement request by applicants for continuances and withdrawals, future agenda items and appeals. And I do believe staff has some brief announcements.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Russell. So happy New Year, everyone. Great to see everyone. Ellen Kokenda, Design Review Supervisor. I am joined here today with Carly Ernest. She is going to be taking over the ABR liaison. We are pleased to have Carly on board as she has been working in the private sector with Evatur and Shaw Planning Services. So she understands what it feels like to be an applicant and all the things that go into application review, and has taken through a handful of projects through the city, through the SFDB design process, has done a lot of county projects. Really thrilled to have Carly on board. We'll miss Will, but he's not leaving. Will is going to be transitioning to the development review section. So he will be an assigned case planner. So you'll still see him, but not necessarily in the same role as the ABR liaison. So just a congratulations to both of them in their new roles. And again, kind of a new start to the year. Looking forward to that. I guess I also just want to acknowledge we do have our city administrator, Rebecca Bjork, retired at the end of December. And so we have an interim city administrator, Sarah Connect, whom you all know as the city attorney. So she's currently acting as the interim. And Tava Ostringer, assistant city attorney, is currently filling in as the city attorney right now. So there's lots of kind of moving pieces. So we'll probably have more information on that here in a couple of months. So I'm sure there'll be an announcement. But I'm really looking forward to working with you all, starting the new year off, being able to have Carly here and just kind of see what kind of interesting projects are happening. And I'm also looking forward to, in 2 weeks, we'll get the chair and vice chair established, and would be happy to work with the two designees to of how we can, again, set this year off right. But thank you so much.
If I may, and I think I speak for the whole board, to really thank Will for his excellent service and excellent guiding, and it was a pleasure to work with you, Will.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
Last general business item, item G, subcommittee reports. Do we have any to report? I don't think so. So without further ado, we can open up item 1, the only item on today's agenda, 217 South Milpas. This is a continued item for concept review. This is a proposal to construct a new 2-story duplex over a 6-car 4-car carport. The proposal includes to demolish and reconstruct and convert the existing 4-car garage into a 3-bedroom ADU. Conversion of the garage to an ADU will abate the garage violation portion of an enforcement case listed. This project is providing 1 replacement housing unit for the proposed hotel project at 302 West Montecito Street. And the project requires staff hearing officer approval of a coastal development permit. So no final appealable decision will be made at this hearing today. The project requires compliance with the project compatibility findings and the urban design guidelines eventually. And this project was last reviewed on February 21st, 2023. And then I want to just make some brief comments. It's here today for concept review. It has been here once before. But since it does have a coastal development permit, it will need to go after the staff hearing officer for its review. So it's here for its concept review, and then its next step in the project phase is the staff hearing officer. So just keep that in mind while reviewing the project today, and then I will pull up the previous minutes for your review.
So, Will, are we will make a motion to continuance to the staff hearing officer.
Correct.
And our comments will be generalized or condensed to a motion
Condensed to a motion. So if you have anything that you would like to include as a part
as a
of
full,
that.
a motion as
Yeah.
a full board rather than independent comments.
As a motion as a full board, correct?
Thank
Yes.
you.
And then we have the minutes up on the board for you all to review. Oh, God. So with that, I think we can turn it over to the applicant.
Hello, my name is Lonnie Roy. I'm the agent for the owner. So I will move this back a little bit more. So I'll go straight to the site plan to kind of just overview how we address the comments. The prior plans had the duplex building located along the northerly property line, and it was requested by the board to locate that to the southerly property line, away from the one-story residential units there to the north, and against this 1.5-story masonry wall that's on the southerly property line. So we made that change. There was also a request to study. We were proposing to convert an existing, was permitted 4-car garage, currently a 2-car garage, into an accessory dwelling unit, and it was requested to study demoing that and doing a new ADU. So this proposal does propose to demo that existing garage and construct a new 2-story accessory dwelling unit in its location. And another change that happened relative to the site was one of the proposed units in the duplexes was reduced from a 1-bedroom to a studio, which allowed us to remove a surface parking stall that we previously had located in this area in order to add more landscape and outdoor space. Also, by changing the ADU to a new building, a new footprint, we were able to reduce the size of that and create a little bit more outdoor space along here. Another shift, which I will go over on the duplex floor plans, is we skinnied it up a little bit, add the second floor overhang out towards the driveway, and the carport portion or roof structure extends towards the southerly property line. So that enables our backup space to be pulled away from the property line and create a landscape area, where the prior plan just had the driveway right up against the property line and that masonry wall prior. So through these site plan changes, we increased the amount of landscape area, which was a request of the board. And then let me transition. Well, and then there was also one comment regarding transportation staff review of the shifting driveway approach. This went through full staff review So transportation staff has reviewed and approved the alternative driveway being used. There was also a request that the existing single-family home have some attention paid to it. So we are proposing to repair any siding. We're adding a belly board which ties into the other proposed structures. The existing base is kind of just a lattice base, so we're proposing to provide it a stucco base, so it looks like it's on a masonry foundation. Repaint, it's already been re-roofed. So the new accessory dwelling unit, you can see that the request was before the existing house is horizontal lap siding, the garage was stucco, and our proposed duplex had a stucco base and board and bat upper to it. So now everything's been made consistent with the existing house, which is horizontal siding. There are the existing single family is pretty nondescript. There are two kind of architectural features in it. One of them is this existing window here has a little bit more ornate trim piece around it, and what's not graphically represented well or at all on this is that this hipped portion has this kind of box soffit, and I believe it was board member Whalen at that original hearing that pointed that out as kind of a architectural feature. So we're trying to tie those two elements in. So this window here, which is kind of at the terminus of that driveway when you come in, we're trying to match that window trim detail there. And the intention is to match kind of that box soffit, so all the roofs were changed to a hip instead of a gable. That's not well represented here, but that is the intention. The duplex, so you can see this is facing the south property line. We've added kind of a roof pop out in order to cover that carport portion to go beyond the building itself, which allowed us to get that planter area along the northerly property line. Here is the elevation. So it was changed to a hip in order to match that kind of box soffit detail on the structure. One kind of shed structure or shed articulation was added along the driveway side to give it some visual interest. And then the landscape plan. So as we've kind of talked about, so we were able to kind of add this planter area along the driveway portion, which we didn't have before. Due to the footprint getting smaller on here, we were now able to add additional landscape around the perimeter. We still, well, now we do have landscape along the southerly here. So we have the two kind of balconies here and here. So trees were not proposed there, but where we have kind of that blank facade, we do have some trees to soften that. And that concludes my presentation.
I'm running the ship. Without further ado, public comment for this item.
Okay, thank you, Staff Member Russell. I'll start with in-person public comment. At this time, I have no slips, and I see no one in the audience moving to fill out a slip, so we will move on to virtual comment. And I have no attendees raising their hand in virtual comment, so we will close virtual comment at this time. And we did not receive any correspondence or letters for this event, so at that, I will turn it back over to you, Staff Member Russell.
Thank you. And now back to the board for their comments, for your comments or questions. Sure. If Board Member Anderson would like to go first.
I just have a couple questions. If we could go to the elevation sheet for the proposed duplex. I just wanted to confirm, so I think the north and south elevation are labeled incorrectly. Is that true?
That is correct.
Okay.
Oh.
So, yeah, I know. Okay, so that helps. I think that was really my only question. I just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
So that puts me in a lot of confusion here. So,
Yeah, sorry about that.
so the deep, that upper elevation is the one against the building.
Correct.
Okay, okay. And, all right, bingo. Okay, so, yeah. Oh, first of all, I just wanted to know whether your applicant and you appreciated the changes that we made or suggested, and did it all work out, and did you struggle with it, or are you just, do you and the applicant feel it's a better project because of the changes in this radical site changes?
I think it's definitely a better project with the changes. Structurally, the costs on the duplex are definitely going to be more, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a better project. It's a more livable site plan, and
Well,
I
good.
think it's going to be better overall.
I'm very happy with that then. So just to, we were assuming a certain height of that lower, the parapet to the building to the south. Do you know where that comes up on the
Yeah.
south elevation?
It should be kind of about at the railing height or a little bit above it.
Okay. Yeah, so it's, oh, good, okay. So, okay, I can do that there, okay. So, can we go to the front, the site plan maybe is the best place to go. So on that southwest corner where the planting is, that, the drive raises and ramps up to the back of the property on a higher elevation. Does the new planting that's proposed there, it will just maintain the same grade and fall down to the level of the sidewalk?
Correct. That's
No
the
no retaining walls and so forth.
current proposal.
And right at that edge of the porch, I don't know if we have our photos, but the existing stairway to that porch is rather dilapidated. There's two sets of concrete stairs and some deteriorating skirt walls and so forth. What's your proposal for that area? If you can show in photographs or,
Oh yeah, we do have the photos. Oops. So the proposal is to replace the
we-
lattice.
that would be on the other side.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have a good one of.
I think the first one
Yeah, the
was,
first one is the.
yeah. So it really looks rather rickety there, so what's your proposal?
Well, the proposal with the base was to remove the lattice and replace it with a stucco finish, so it appears like it's a masonry foundation.
Mm-hmm.
As far as those steps, I believe they're concrete, so I don't think currently it was proposed to replace those, but the railing was being repaired, that lattice was all being removed. So certainly that could be done.
So you would replace the railing at least
Correct,
with a wood railing?
correct.
And then I noticed on the site plan, there's a lot of notes about reducing the height of the visual triangles on the new entry. This fence that we see here to the left of the picture is obviously in the way of that, or is it, does that, bottom line, does that fence remain?
Yeah, the proposal is for all of the fencing, the wood fencing, to be removed. The note was specifically to the masonry walls.
Okay.
If those exceeded it, then those would need to be trimmed down a little bit, but yeah, that wood fencing, that's
I
proposed to be
I
removed.
didn't see that note anywhere, but good. Great. Okay. Can we go to the site plan again and zoom in on the trash location? Just, it just seems to me, maybe this is more of a comment, what's your, I guess I can phrase it in a question. What is your logic on the arrangement of the trash areas as opposed in front of, or in back of the common area having to, it seems to be in a conflict. Is there, did you study other places for that trash location?
We've looked at a couple areas. To us, it just made sense with it needing to be outside of the setback area. There's no windows or anything here. You put it back here, it's closer to kind of this unit, so it just seemed like it was the most kind of accessible, centrally located to the spaces as much as it could be, as well as kind of hidden in a way.
Awful lot going on in there, but, and then the only other thing is, if I understand, if we can go to the north, or, let's see, let's go to the second floor plan of units A and B. Okay, so the, so the, I'm still confused. So the eyebrow, this is oriented correct? So the existing, a building to the south is where?
The south is here.
Up here, okay.
Yeah, our architect likes to flip
Confused
the
things.
north and south.
Okay,
It's
okay. So you've got sun coming into the deck, right, from the
correct.
south?
Yeah. But
And then there's no balconies on the living and bedrooms on the downsheet elevation because they're not in sun, or is there any reason that those balconies aren't extended more?
well, I think structurally, because we're already overhanging this portion, so it would be a further overhang. So it was kind of from a structural perspective, we are proposing kind of Juliet balconies on all here to get substantial light and air. So, yeah, I mean, they all are, I would say the living spaces are all oriented towards that more open portion of the lot.
Okay, so my last question is on this upsheet. Elevation, right here we can talk about it. This eyebrow of roof along that upsheet wall, is there a functional reason? Is it completing the depth of the drive parking spaces that need to be covered?
Correct, because due to the width of the lot, the carport portion is allowed to encroach within the setback, but the livable portion of the building is not. So it is completing the carport
So that's
depth.
required to cover the front end of the cars?
Correct.
Okay, I get it, I get it. All right, I think those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Black?
Let's see. The existing fence along the new driveway, there's a note that says existing fence to remain, I believe. Is that correct? Am I missing that?
That was correct at this time, but that property owner has since replaced that fence.
Have they?
Yeah.
Because it was chain link, as I remember, yes, from the photographs anyway. Is that true?
I think it might have varied. I know
Yeah,
at the
right there,
front
there's chain link there at the beginning.
Yeah, so it was chain link, but I believe what I've been told is it's been replaced since, and there's been a kerfuffle between the two property owners.
Replaced with what?
I do not know.
Okay. I guess my only observation was that chain link doesn't seem to really do the project justice, but, so we may want to consider, depending on what it actually got changed to. I mean,
Yeah, I can go
Personally,
out there and
I mean, a
verify.
nice wood fence would be nice for privacy for both sides, but, and then that's sort of a simple question, but what is the nature of the railings for the balconies on the, for that middle unit building? Yeah. What are those railings? Or you have a detail for that?
We don't have a detail at this time, but yeah, I
Can you
mean,
just
it's a
describe
pretty
it?
simple
Is it a-
wood railing.
Pickets or boards or what is it?
It'd be boards.
Okay. With a cap of some sort, I'm guessing.
Correct.
Okay. Those are my only questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
No questions.
Thank you, Board Member Noon.
No questions.
So, the board can be opened up for comments. Who would like to go first?
Let's go back down the line. I appreciate that the applicant has really listened to the last meeting and really studied the site and made this a more livable, it's an opportunity to create better architecture and more livability. So I definitely appreciate that, and I think it's ready for the staff hearing officer for the CDP, and there's nothing major that I have any concerns with, so.
Yeah, I also concur with that and appreciate it. And I think not only in livability on this site, but livability on the site to the north, more sun and so forth. I think that everything looks good. I understand the eyebrow. I don't normally like those things, but I understand, and it's behind the building to the south. I have a little question on having, these mostly opaque railing treatments in front of the sliding glass doors. What's that gonna, maybe there's another language there that does indeed open it up more. I could see this architecture living with a more transparent balcony on both elevations, and therefore making it work in front of the sliding glass doors. Just a very minor thing on the north elevation of the ADU. It would probably, if there's no physical setback restrictions, it would be good to extend that on the lower right-hand lower roof, have that roof extend over the door and put a column down to make more handsome entry, exterior entry. I think that with the changes made and some refinements, I think it's a good project. And I'm hoping to see adequate notes on the final drawings about the repair and improvements to that front unit, which are important to have.
Thanks. I would agree with those comments. I think it's a very nice project, actually. And when you come back, though, I'd like to at least get some confirmation on what that fence is that we talked about. You know, with the nature, maybe a photograph would just confirm that, yeah, it's adequate to the task. So, also, just an observation, you have your plant list there. Obviously, when you come back for PDA or final, you're going to have to make specific selections on the plants. And right now, you just have sort of suggested list, which is fine. And then also, I noticed that all the shrubs are listed as 1 gallon. I think you should upsize a bunch of that. Like maybe at least 30% of them should be 5 gallon, I'm going to guess. And then also all the palms that you're indicating too, they really should designate trunk height on palms, just as a proper way of designating it. So, but otherwise, I think it's nice. Thanks.
I don't have anything additional to add to previous comments. I don't have anything to add.
I have one thing I forgot. If we go to the site plan, or better yet, the planting plan, are we, these cars come up within 2 or 3 feet of the south property, and it's very dark down there. Are we kidding ourselves about having any plant material at all in there? I could see that easily becoming just earth and ugly in no matter of time. Would it be best, and I agree with the palms, but would it be best to just do that in a permeable surface rather than trying to get plants to live in there, David?
Can you point your finger to where we're talking about? Oh,
That's going to be very dark and
Yeah.
miserable down there.
I mean, you could just have gravel, ornamental gravel, be fine.
But still, the palms are very important as they peak up above the roof.
Yes,
But the lower ground cover, I think we're kidding ourselves.
true. I can't, are there vines proposed on that fence there, along that?
Not currently, because it's the building.
Do you mind turning your microphone on for our recording?
Yeah, not currently because it's part of their building.
I get it. Okay, that's fine.
I think it would be a lot more successful to just have a ground cover, a permeable paving.
I would agree.
And a quick question to our board. That fence is on the other, or I guess to the client, the fence is onto the other property, not on our property, on the north side?
Correct.
So it's on the neighbor's property. So are you suggesting that they put in their own fence to cover it? Or what is your thought?
I don't know, whose responsibility is that fence, did you say?
The other property?
Right now, it's on theirs. I mean, it's a property line fence, so it depends when it gets replaced, who wants to pay for it or for an agreement. But my understanding is that property owner has replaced that, and the issue between them was that, I guess, this chain link fence was thrown onto this property. But prior to coming back, I'll go out there and take a photo and see what it is, and we can discuss it at that time.
Because I don't think chain link is something that we would
Yeah.
encourage.
Mm-hmm.
And for the benefit of either property owner, I would think, but
Yeah, I concur.
good.
Would any board member be willing to make a motion?
Sure, I'll give it a shot. I move for indefinite continuance to the staff hearing officer with the following comments. Number one, the board appreciates the applicant's updates to the plans based on our last meeting. And we think that this is a well-designed project. Number two, the applicant shall study an alternative railing design for the duplex for more transparency. Number three, the applicant shall provide sizes of the landscaping plants and selected plants and a trunk height on the palms. Is that what you
Correct.
said? On the palms. The applicant shall also look at extending the roof over the entry for the ADU and introducing a column. The applicant shall also come back with pictures of the fence material along the north property line. And provide notes on the on the plans for the improvements to the existing single-family home.
And make a correction to the plans to update the directions.
And if the applicant can update the plans to the correct labeling of the directions for the elevations.
I'll second that.
Any additions?
Under,
Any comments on the motion?
I had a quick comment, just for clarity to the applicant and maybe for us. When we say study, does that mean that, for the railing, for instance, does that mean that if he comes back and says that we like this, is it acceptable, or is it something that we want to see?
I think I meant study because we're still in concept.
Do we find it not compatible to the rest of the architecture of the building? Therefore, we're, I just.
if
wanna-
I
wanna
could, say that resolve the conflict between the Juliet opaque balcony material and the adjacent bottom of the sliding glass door.
Sorry, I don't mean to complicate that, but I think it's better if we give them clearer direction.
Okay, let's just say make the balcony
Make it
railings
transparent?
more transparent, more transparent. Yeah.
Okay,
We can keep that simple.
sure.
And then the motion with the added notes for repair and maintenance of the front building, add to it, comma, especially the entry stair
Infants.
and a porch skirt.
Is the maker of the motion okay with that?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Okay. We ready for roll call? Board Member Six,
Yes.
Board Member Anderson,
Yes.
Board Member Black,
Yes.
Board Member Noon,
Yes?
Board Member Solver.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
You want to close us out, or you want to keep us here?
You have to stay here until the next hearing. With that, we can close the Architecture Board of Review for January 8th. Thank you.
All right.